I want to talk to you guys about pot roast. One of the most common questions I get at a meat counter is, what's the best cut for a pot roast? And the answer is a chuck roast. This is a chuck roast. It's gorgeous. It's a lot of different muscles out of the shoulder. The scapula kind of runs right alongside this muscle. This is a big group of a bunch of different muscles. We could go through and pick out exactly which one of each of these are, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't know them offhand. This is a really nice cut of meat. It's got a ton of fat in it, so it'll have a ton of flavor. It's gonna get super tender. It's not super tender as it is. In another video later on, I'm gonna actually break one of these down and show you guys how to get really tender steaks out of it. As a whole group of muscles, it's not very tender on its own. So we're gonna slow cook it and get it really tender. First thing I wanna do is get this really dry with a paper towel. I'd say ideally, you would have this left out in your fridge for a couple days, and that'll really dry out the surface of the meat. Like I talked about in my last video, dry meat is a good thing. You want it to be dry, especially this first layer, and get a much better sear, which is what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna season this with just salt and pepper, good amount of salt. And a very hearty dose of pepper. Now I got this skillet here. The sucker's been on since before I started this video. It is screaming hot, and that is the exact temperature you want it to be for a good sear. If you really want a good test, this is kind of dangerous, so stand back. We'll take a little bit of water, and if it sizzles like that, it's ready to go. I did put a little bit, just a very thin layer of fat in this pan before I started it. I always use animal fat, lard, beef tallow. Which I want to do a video on and show you guys how to make that. And this should be just about ready to go. Yeah. So you can see, real nice and brown. Drop that in there. And then you want to add some liquid. Water's totally fine. A lot of times I'll just use like tequila and lime juice. I'm going to do some stock to give it a little extra flavor. And you want it covered about a third of the way. That'll help keep it moist. Crock pots, they work great, but they're not the most reliable with temperature control. Higher temperature something cooks for a longer period of time, the longer it has to dry out. This will really keep it from drying out. If you have a Dutch oven, that'll actually work better. Put that in your oven at below 225, like 215. You just have better temperature control that way. I don't know what temperature this crock pot cooks at. So, put it in there, lid on, low, that's it.